Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we're checking out some more Vinland Saga, and in the last episode, we were really establishing what this farm life is like for Thorfinn and Einar, and the interactions with the different people here. We have a farmer and his son who's going through a bit of an identity crisis because he doesn't want to be attached to his father and just be his father's son and inherit this farm and stuff, but I don't think he fully understands what that means. He's 17. A little bit of grace there. None of us really knew what we were talking about when we were 17, so I understand to some extent, but he also has some issues that I think he needs to deal with in terms of personality, right? But at the very end of last episode, we had Anna opening up about what happened to his village and why he ended up being a slave and in the situation he's currently in. And I feel like that sparked something for Thorfinn, who's gone through his own trials and losses. I don't know if this is them connecting and we're gonna get some actual friendship between them, but I don't know. We've set up a few things in these couple of episodes. I'm not really sure where the overall season is headed yet, but I'm excited to see what we're gonna get into. Let's get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. We're not starting with the opener. Oh yeah, we had him going off with the drunks. I got a bad feeling about this. I feel like it's not going to turn out well for him. Yeah, I don't trust it. Especially since we're going back to the water. The episode's name is Snake, okay? I don't know what's about to happen, but it's not gonna be good. Oof. Is he gonna end up in some kind of fighting ring and he's gonna realize that he doesn't have the chops to be like a warrior like he wants to? Did they fall into the water? Oh dear, have we drank a little too much? I feel like they might know better than you do. Just a prediction. Sure. He doesn't. Definitely shouldn't. Don't enable him. Maybe don't pick a fight. I feel like this is like gearing towards him picking a fight. Yeah, he's not a fun drunk, so. You're the only one with a sword, come on. Not a fair fight. Oh, do they have swords? Boy, do not pick a fight with someone whose job is to fight. Yeah. You couldn't even get your sword out of the scabbard earlier, okay? I was not expecting a whole tantrum. And that's why you're not fit to be a warrior. Well, so they were using him too. So he's one of those drunks. If he doesn't want to be treated like a child, maybe he shouldn't be throwing a tantrum on the floor. You just need to finish a sentence. Oh no. This feels like we're venturing towards like hazing culture. Oh yeah, I don't trust the shadows on that man's face. Will it? I feel like this isn't a escalation. And I feel like they're manipulating him in some way. You should be afraid of him. I don't like that everyone's like seems to be in agreement to this, that you're just in like an isolated place where no one knows where you are, surrounded by people who are like, just kill someone. One of the slaves, I'm assuming. Yep. Are they gonna try and attack Thorfinn? Because that's a bad idea. Is it because he's tiny? Ugh, I hate that, like, you're allowed to kill. Ugh. Hate it. Thanks. This is a bad idea. Like, Einar is like, okay, he's like a big guy, but he doesn't have any actual training. He was just like chopping down some trees badly, being like, so I could train to be a warrior, and he never actually got there. But like Thorfinn, absolutely do not pick a fight with him. Though maybe I want you to, considering they don't seem like great people. So maybe Thorfinn needs to thin the herd a little bit. But I'm just saying. It might be a catalyst though to get him back into like caring about stuff, because if he's in a life or death situation, and sorry, there's a fruit fly distracted me. If he's in a life or death situation and he chooses life, then it might spark something in him to be like, given the choice between dying and not dying, I chose to survive, so what am I going to do with that, right? Or like be reminded in that moment of what he wants to be, what his purpose is, like what he wants to be fighting for, to see like a potential upside. But like, I don't like that we're bringing this kid into this. I know he doesn't want to be seen as a kid, but like, maybe don't be crying your eyes out on the ground because you lost a fight that you definitely weren't going to win. Like, they didn't kill you, so it could have been worse. Thorfinn might kill you though, so like, tread carefully. He's a lot of things, but like, benevolent isn't one that I would use. And he's trying to get more land with you clearing all of those trees. That's probably the point. It's probably so that it's like you don't have time to actually buy your freedom back. Uh-oh. Are we having nightmares? Be careful waking him up. Okay, he might have some reflexes. Okay. He's definitely not okay. But he'll kind of like center himself. Turn it off, dissociate, but like, dang, boy. He's been through some stuff, so fair enough. Can't you? Or do you just not want to talk about it? I feel like this is going the other direction though, where like Thorfinn was like, connecting with Einar. Like this is him, like Einar is now seeing Thorfinn as like, oh, you've also been through a lot of stuff. Like that's why you're so disconnected, why you feel nothing. Is like a trauma response. The way his face is like in full light, like he is so transparent. Like we know exactly what he is, what's going on in his head. Smooth. Well said. Say something complimentary back. You feel that might be part of it. I mean, you went to bed with thoughts of like a town being on fire, so she seems to be doing okay. I'm assuming she's also a slave. Is this them coming to pick a fight? Drunkenly or possibly slightly sober? They're gonna pick a fight with Thorfinn, aren't they? You're in for a surprise if you're gonna pick a fight with Thorfinn. I feel like Thorfinn knows what's up. He suspects. Nope. Well deduced. Boy, stay on topic, okay? Yeah, I don't trust that guy at all. He keeps his eyes closed, except when he's talking about murder. Never trust someone like that. I don't like that there's a lot of them still there. That one has a blade, though, in his belt. Is Thorfinn gonna snatch that? Because that's his go-to kind of weapon. Never trust an anime character whose eyes are always closed. They're shifty. I mean, Thorfinn's already been through this, so he's just like, "Pfft." I think they're in for a surprise when if Thorfinn actually is like, I'm gonna protect myself. He doesn't look like he's gonna cut them down. Looks like he might tip over if you like a strong wind comes through. The fact that they're like manipulating him into doing it too is like its own kind of shadiness. He's not going to. At least he's got some fight in him. Nah, Thorfinn's like, all right. Come on, Thorfinn. Get in the ring. Put him in their place. Maybe not Olmar, because he's like being manipulated, but like, oh, that's Sai. You're gonna deal with this, aren't you? He's like, dang it. I was just trying to live my life coast. Dang, those eyes are scary. I feel like he's not gonna let it happen though. I feel like he's like, let me get him out of here. So he's not in danger anymore. I don't know, I just feel like when push comes to shove, Thorfinn's gonna throw down. Like we know he can. I'm very alarmed by the angle of this man's head underneath this book. Perhaps I should be. Are you a new character that's going to be important to the story? Or should I not get attached? I mean, someone with a sword. That seems like some kind of show of wealth. Fair enough, man. If you're not gonna work, take care of yourself. Okay, is he one of these like guests as well? But he's not part of this like clique that's like, let's haze some people? He's so detached, it's scary. His eyes are open now. He's intrigued. He does. He probably understands that better than these guys do, honestly. Like, just because they're working in this, like, rural area doesn't mean that they actually understand what it's like to be in, like, a war situation. Braun? Oh, okay. Sure. The change in the music, though. You're meeting someone who does not fear death, and I'm sure that that scares you. We're talking about fear. He wants him to be afraid, though. Like, it diminishes the enjoyment that he has of it if Thorfinn isn't scared. It's gonna be a new ally? Because I feel like they're probably toying with Thorfinn. Because he's not gonna react. Come on, Thorfinn. Throw down. Come on. What happened to like one clean cut? Tis. You're damaging property you don't own. I feel like that's probably some kind of crime. Because I feel like that's not his headspace. Oof. Untrue. You had some good times in your childhood before it all went haywire. You had some good memories with your dad before, you know, the murder. Ooh, Jesus. He's not answering the question, though. Is he higher rank? Oh, is he Snake? Is he, like, in charge? I wouldn't have expected that. Okay, so it's the boss. Oof. You're in trouble. Deserved. Probably deserved more, but like, I will settle for a broken nose. For now. Interesting. Interesting. This is an exciting development. This episode did definitely make me even more worried about Thorfinn, because this man is just standing there being tortured, having his ear cut off, part of it anyway, and just not even blinking. Not a single reaction out of this man. And look, I'm gonna be real with you, as someone who has lost the top of one of their ears, I know what it feels like, okay? I've been through that, and it haunts me to this day. The fact that Thorfinn is just like empty, there's nothing there, and he's just like, fine, you can kill me. Literally not even phased. It just made him sigh, because he's like, I had other things I was gonna do, but I guess we'll do this instead. Sir, I would like you to get a hug of some kind, especially when he was having the nightmare and he's like, I can't remember it. I wonder if it's because he fell asleep remembering his childhood. My suspicion is that he was remembering his dad getting killed, and that was like why he was screaming, reacting the way that he was. Like that kind of reaction, I feel like, is him going back to that moment in his childhood and seeing that happen, because he's like, I've forgotten something that was important, something that I'm supposed to remember. And it's like he was saying in that clip, nothing good has ever happened to me my whole life. Why should I be alive? And I was like, but your dad and your mom and your sister and you growing up as a kid before everything happened, you did have happy memories. You know what a happy life is like. It's just been so long. And I feel like that's what he's suppressed. I feel like on a logical level, he knows that he had a family and that the death of his father greatly affected him. But I feel like he separated himself so much from life and his feelings that he's not grasping onto it. So I feel like that's going to be something that he needs to work through. And the reason I think that we're going to get there is because we've met this boss, this snake, which I expected Snake as the name of the episode to be like someone who's sneaky and is going to tempt someone into doing something bad or whatever, right? But instead we're getting this person who is called that, and I think that he reminds me a lot of Thor's, that I think that's going to be the catalyst for Thorfinn figuring himself out a little bit, or at least getting a little bit back into being a functional person, is seeing someone who has traits that his father had and that he can see some of himself in. Maybe. I'm just hoping he's not a little bit too like Asklath, right? Because great character, not a great person. Don't know if that's going to be a good thing for Thorfinn to be around someone who's like Asklath. But if someone is like his dad, I feel like that will help him ground himself a little bit more. But we'll have to wait and see with upcoming episodes. But it makes me excited to see the dynamic now, especially with like Thorfinn being intentionally damaged. If he is property, then they have intentionally damaged someone else's property, right? So I feel like there's going to be some consequences for that besides just a broken nose, but we'll have to wait and see. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Vinland Saga reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.